Hey, Entre Fam. This is Young, and this is video 67 of 90. Yeah. Um, let's see. I guess get this out of the way. Shit of the day. Dad, DADD. Dads against daughters dating. To play on the Mad shirts or Mad logos and things like that. Um, I actually am not like that big on or that bad on dating. When my daughter grows up, I if she wants to date, all I'm gonna do is just ask for a few things, to meet him, to meet the guy, maybe have dinner with them, spend a day out with them at some point, things like that, and really give my daughter the trust or the chance to earn the trust um, uh, in being able to handle a mature relationship and things like that. So yeah, not really against dating. This is just for laughs. Funny thing is, I actually got this for a friend, and something happened. I was never able to get it for him, and I just ended up keeping it. So, but yeah. Also wanted to talk about my day a little bit. I mean, it was all right. I mean, worked a little bit late, like yesterday, not too bad. And I've actually been continuing my discussion or my talks with the guy I told you about, some videos back. How we got to talking we met on Facebook and just started talking, and he was asking for advice about situations and things like that, and he has a lot of anxiety and things like that about his job, and just in life in general. It seems like he's done a lot of negative self talk. He's received a lot of negative talk from people, like even his family members and things like that. Um, today we had a good talk, I think, and about just kind of his state of mind and how what he could do to change it and things like that. And I think I really got through to him today. I was just really talking about how if if he really wants to change his state of mind, his mindset, he has to do a couple of things. And I told him that um, he needs to first want it, like really want it, not just like, yeah, of course I want, you know, a better state of mind or whatever. But you give the example of, like, if you really want something, you're gonna go get it. Like, if you give up halfway, you didn't really want it, right? um, like, for example, like, if there's a girl you like or a boy you like, if you're guy or girl or whatever, if there's somebody you like, you're gonna go after them. Yeah, there might be some reservations and fear and shyness, things like that, but in the end, if you really, really want them, you will go after them. And if you don't, and you let stuff hold you back, then you didn't want them as bad. You didn't want them as bad as you thought. So I just kind of told him that you have to really want it. The second thing is that you have to believe that you can change. And the third is to actively and purposefully do positive self-talk. Like, and he was like, okay, well, how do I do all that? And I was like saying, okay, so for example, you know, as whenever you hear any bad talk or think anything bad, you have to catch that and say something positive about yourself. And then as soon as I said that, he said, "But I suck." So, and then I pointed it out right there, that what he did. And after that, I also talked a little bit, kind of, he also, is a Christian, but I also talked about him and his worth in God. If he actually believes in God, he should know what God thinks of him and how he values him. And the whole thing about, if God loves you, then who cares what all these other people think or say, right? um, and then so I did a lot of those talk. I even gave him examples of myself because I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on one of my videos, but I was a after my after my parents split up, I became more reclusive. I know I mentioned that much, but I really had a lot of negative self talk, like because when you're a kid and something like that happens, you can't help but think that you were at fault in some way or shape or form, right? That your parents split up or one of your parents left. So especially when your parents don't communicate anything to you about it, but I did a lot of negative self talk. I always thought I was worthless. Nobody wanted to be with me. Like, why did people even want to be? Why would even? Why would anybody want to even be friends with me? There were a couple of thoughts, probably in high school, of suicide and things like that. Not like so bad that I was on the verge of you know taking any action, but there were thoughts and things like that. Like because I so undervalued my life. Things like that. So I told him a little bit about that and how later on, just in my faith, after, as I mentioned, after I accepted Christ in my life, like I had kind of like had an epiphany that after that point, like I clearly understood my value in God's eyes um, and just why I was here. Um, and if I were to be able to do what I was put on this earth to do, I couldn't do it in this state of mind. And that from that point forward, I decided that I wanted to change. I believed that I could change, and then I took a form of I just basically kind of had a plan of action on how it was going to change. For example, anytime there was negative self-talk, I would catch myself and say something positive like, "Man, I'm suck. Like, what's wrong with me?" I would catch that and be like, "No, man. Those are lies. You don't suck. You got this. Let's do it." Things like that. So I communicated all this stuff to him, and it seemed to have kind of, I think, gone through to him. He kind of fell silent for a while, but it seemed like something might have clicked. Maybe, hopefully, but yeah. So just kind of sharing with our little journey so far through that. But yeah. So that's kind of going. They're still going, and you know, it's a lot of work and investment. It's to spend time with somebody and help them out with things like this, because we spend like every time we talk, it's about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and I don't even have that much time. So I'm trying to be really open and receptive to things God's putting in my path. So I'm trying to invest time in it, even though I'd rather maybe I'd rather maybe do more things for my affiliate marketing, but you know that's not as important as maybe somebody who needs help. So yeah. Well, anyways, before this video gets any longer, I'm gonna quickly go through my through-line challenge. It's just basically kind of life after we got married. There was not too much going on, but there were some significant things that happened. So my wife didn't actually know for sure, for certain, just of all her disabilities, of autism, of ADHD, GAD, dyscalculia. I think she has dysgraphia. I think she has what's the thing where you can't read? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Anyways, the things where the words get jumbled and it's hard to read. Um, she didn't actually know for certain she had all that stuff until, we were married. She was under my insurance now. Now she can go see counselors, things like that. And she got tested and all that. And then she finally knew. And when she knew, like she kind of always knew in the back of her head, but to kind of know and get that answer, like, kind of concrete and on paper and from like a professional, she said it was so nice, because like she just thought she was crazy all these years, because that's kind of what her mom was saying, or made her feel that way. Anyways, not saying she was crazy, but made her feel that way. But in that, that kind of made me realize how much more I needed to, and I don't really like using this term, but in a sense, man up and do what I need to provide for my wife, to provide for my family, um, and there was kind of more of an urgency, and I actually did take a lot of action in saving, bringing down our debt, things like that, and we did do a lot. We did kind of work at it, and chip away at it, uh, and we were doing well in that. And then we finally decided to move. We were at the time we were living at my in-laws, her parents' house. We just were giving them some rent, cheap rent, just living in one of the master bedrooms in their homes. And later we moved out, and then of course we had nothing really, no furniture really, a bed basically, maybe a TV, a bed. That's about it. So we had to kind of spend money to get like, I mean, we got couches and things like that from people, but we had to buy a bunch of other stuff. So our credit, the spending kind of went up at that point, and then we were back in a lot of debt. So, but anyways, the point being is that I knew that from that point I really needed to make moves and do something to really provide for my family. And as hard as I tried, and as much as we knocked down, like it was, it just came all back. And so I kind of was like, I knew that this wasn't the way. Of course, I didn't know what the way it was, but I knew this wasn't it. So that kind of kept making me, search for things and things like that. So yeah, so that's kind of what I got from that point of my life. So yeah, a little bit, a couple of heavy things in there, just from my through line and even my personal life in there. But y'all family now, so you got to bear with it now. Anyways, that's it for today. This video is already long enough, so I will catch you on tomorrow's video. Stay awesome, mantra.